a bit later. But guys, as usual, we'll send the recording out a bit later. And yeah, if we can just ask that everyone mutes their mic. Hello, Steven. We can just ask everyone mutes their mic until they've got a question, and we can work it the usual way. Okay, so as was last week, I think we'll kick off with a few questions from my side and then turn it over to you guys. Kitsy, maybe you can just give everyone a bit of an update on the injury. We know it happened against the Sharks. It's the pec that you've been working on. What's that been like, especially with the HPC being open as a medical center, being able to go and do some rehab there?
Yeah, how's it, guys? Yeah, the first 2 months was all during lockdown. Had to do all the rehab stuff from home and try and keep busy on the watt bike. And guys, about 3 weeks ago, where was able to go in twice a week, see the doc, see the physio, and the rehab process has been going great, to be honest. Feeling good. Got a lot of mobility back, and starting to build on upper body strength again. So feeling very confident going the last couple of weeks of being injured.
Okay, and then apart from obviously the rehab, you've been keeping busy in lockdown. If you can just give us an idea, I know you've been doing some home renovations. I'm not sure if that's the wall behind you that you've been painting. You're obviously working on the golf swing as well, we can see. And I know you've been doing a bit of studying as well. So maybe you can just give guys an idea of what you've been up to apart from the rehab.
Yeah, so trying to keep busy. I did a couple of short courses there through Get Smarter. I did a pre-development course, and I did a management course. And yeah, I had a couple of things around the apartment I wanted to do, like paint this wall behind me. A couple of things in the laundry room and in the living room that needed to be fixed. So yeah, I've been trying to keep busy. Daily routine was rehab and just getting on the bike, do some cardio.
Okay, and then another thing we've seen you being involved in is obviously, you know, the team's been heavily involved with the charity stuff with Pick and Pay and Feed the Nation. Last week I saw the video of you and the rest of the guys at the NOAA Center. Can you just give us an idea what that was like as an experience and being able to give a little bit back to people who really need it at this time?
No, definitely. I think the whole of South Africa is going through a tough time, and people go days without food. So I think we've fed 90 families for a month, which is great, and just everyone trying to give back and give a bit of their, even if it's a little bit of cash or food parcels, just to try and give back and make lives easier.
Are you there? Can you hear me, Kitsy? Sorry,
Yep.
You just seem to be breaking up a little bit, but I think it's okay. If we can, yeah, turn it over to the guys if anyone's got a question for Steven.
Steven, hi, Steven Nell here. I hope you're well. Just want to check with you. You cut out a bit. Just in terms of the injury, can you just recall how you picked it up and how far you are down the line? I mean, how if we started playing rugby in August or late July, would you be 100% fit?
Steven, I got the injury. It was the last game of Super Rugby for us against the Sharks. Had the operation on 18th of March. Yeah, and it's a 4-month injury. So, I mean, give or take the get match ready. So I've got another month or so left. But otherwise, it's feeling good. I don't have any issues, no pain. It's just trying to get the strength back and be able to take contact.
Sorry, you cut out when you spoke about match readiness. Just the timeline.
Yeah, it's just as I said, it's in the last couple of weeks of being injured. So hopefully, it's just all about getting the strength back and trying to be match ready when the season starts again.
You must be quite jealous, given that the Kiwis and Aussies are much closer to playing than us. I mean, do you think it could give them a little bit of an advantage down the line if we play international rugby?
No, definitely. It's something that's bad, and that's why we probably as a whole industry in South Africa, rugby industry, wants to get back on the field and start playing, even if it's behind closed doors. So definitely match fitness and game readiness when it comes to international season is going to play a massive role. If they've got 6-7 games behind them and we only start playing, it's gonna have a massive influence on how prepared we are going to the international season.
And how have you been keeping fit? Well, I guess you've been busy with rehab, but sorry. But yeah, just generally, I mean, have you guys as a group, sort of what has the physical and mental focus been like? Has it been easy for you guys to stay motivated and to physical routines?
Yeah, I think the guys went. The guys had a lot of work they had to do from home when it comes to conditioning and staying in good shape. Yeah, I think the guys will start getting back to the HPC from either next week or the following week. Depends on what the protocol is. But otherwise, for me personally, staying fit was just getting on the watt bike first couple of days when we had to stay indoors, and then as soon as we could start running, just hit the road and try and get some Ks in the legs. So yeah, hopefully we can start training as a team, so the guys can get ready, and if the season kicks back off, say in August, the guys are as ready as possible to start playing again.
Steve, how Uriru, it's Lloyd here from Sport 24. Uriru spoke a couple of days ago about, if we do get this domestic tournament in August, there is a possibility that it could be hosted in one location to kind of minimize travel and keep everyone in this kind of bio bubble, sanitized environment. And he suggested that, Johannesburg was probably the front runner to do something like that. How much do you guys think about that as a team, and how different would it be for you guys to, effectively go through a whole tournament based in one city?
Yeah, it's probably we'll have the same feeling as a tour. Like if you go to New Zealand, you're there for 4 weeks anyway. So probably have the same feeling being away from home for a month. Or probably, yeah, I think we need to be able to wrap our heads around it and something like that, because it's going to be part of the game, and if it's the only solution towards getting back on the field, then I'm all for it. And yeah, and it will get the guys back on the field, get the game back on the TV.
Then just on that, on the certainty that will come with playing behind closed doors and in front of no crowds, what would that be like for you guys who are used to playing in front of passionate supporters?
Yeah, it'll be a different experience. It's probably something you need to get used to. It'll feel like first couple of probably feel like a training session, but I think it's something you have to get used to quite quickly, and still be able to get your energy from your teammates, be able to be as focused as if there's 40,000 people in the stands, and still be passionate and give you all on the field.
Steven, Dudley here from the Daily Voice. Look, a lot has been about the safety around the scrum when you do return during this time. As a prop forward, is that something you are concerned about, or just thinking of and what you see as a best possible solution there?
So that you broke up a bit. I couldn't hear the question, but if I'm correct, then you're talking about the safety at the scrums and regarding the coronavirus. Yeah, it's something. It's probably something that needs to be talked about, and I personally think if everyone's safe and everyone's been tested and there's no one going into the game with any symptoms, or then, I mean, 80 minutes of scrummaging and maulaging would be fine, and you'll be safe on the other towards the end of the game. So it's something we have to get through, and it's something that probably needs to be talked about and prepared for. But I don't see any issues when teams are isolated and there's no outside influence that can affect anyone prior to a game.
Steve, we speak a lot about conditioning, and because you guys have been out for so long, it's going to take a period of time to get up to a certain level of conditioning to be able to play again. I was chatting to a cricketer the other day, Aidan Markram, you know, just about the thing in cricket of physically not being able to hit balls in a net. Conditioning is one thing, but form is another. You know, and actually not being able to scrum and do the things that you need to do to kind of stay at a certain level. Is there a concern amongst the players that I think someone asked Damien Willemse a while back about kicking a goal, for example, you know, just not being able to do that. Is there a concern that the longer you go on and the longer you sideline and can't train, that there's the possibility of it actually impacting on performance?
Through the whole season, and every week you train scrummaging, you train line-out lifting, mauling, like tackle technique and all those things you work on weekly. So that's why I think if we can kick the season off, say,
I think he says he's going to be fine.
Let's just see when he comes back. The joys of Zoom conferences.
I think it's his connection. So maybe if he exits and rejoins, it might be better.
Okay, it looks like. Kitsy, can you hear me?
I can hear Kelly.
Sorry, man. We missed out pretty much most of that answer. You just seem to freeze there. Do you mind trying to run through it again?
Yeah, just scrummaging and like almost when you sideline for a couple of months, trying to get back into it. I think, yeah, if we're talking about kicking the season off back, getting it back up and running, say August or middle August, it's important for teams to get together and start training those things like tackle technique and scrummaging, line-out lifting, mauling, is those things we develop and build on during the whole season. So it's going to be very important for teams to be able to train those things a couple of weeks prior to the first as possible.
How long do you think you'd need? You know, because obviously if training does resume now, it's still non-contact training. How long would a team need together of full contact training to be match ready?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but probably 4 weeks or so, just like getting your body ready and being able to take contact without getting injured. So it's gonna probably be a month of intense training. Like if you think of pre-season and going into a Super Rugby season, that whole January month is where you prep and do your contact training. So we'll need another 3-4 weeks like that to be able to get back to game fitness.
Steven, Adnan, how excited are you to see live rugby this weekend? I mean, obviously, all of us have been starved. So you guys must be really, even though it's not South African teams, but just to be able to watch live rugby again.
Yeah, I can't wait. I think being deprived and almost absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's like you miss the sport so much, and just be able to see it on TV again. Two teams going flat out at each other. I'm very excited, and it's going to be very interesting to see what it looks like after this whole pandemic situation we find ourselves in.
I wonder if I can just from a Springbok perspective, Steve, just in terms of the, kind of world champions, and, would have been playing some rugby, I think, in the next few weeks, I think, with that incoming tour. Is there a concern that the national side loses any momentum over this period? I mean, given how high you guys were when you came back from Japan, it's almost like you want to play as much as possible now, every opportunity you can to capitalize on that standing in world rugby. And now, whenever you do get back, it could be near on a year has passed since you won in Japan. Just that the wind potentially getting knocked out of the Springbok sails a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure, to be honest, how to answer. Just thinking, being able to play Super Rugby in the beginning of the season, like the Stormers came off the bad running, and teams had a lot of momentum after the World Cup. And it's going to be interesting to see where teams are and how well they condition and how quickly they can adapt to this whole situation and get back to match fitness and be able to perform like we did. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the state is going to be as soon as the international season kicks off again.
All right, guys. Adnan, you got a question about the Stormers, maybe?
Yeah, just the last time I spoke to Dabo, he said there was interest in perhaps getting Vincent Koch here. I just want to ask Kitsy with regards to, obviously they played together before, and just what he will bring to the Stormers.
Yeah, I think Vince will, he's one of my best mates. I think he'll bring a lot of experience, especially playing in the Northern Hemisphere for a while and learning a lot from Saracens, and then having such an incredible season with the Boks. He just brings a lot of experience, great scrummager, and carries the ball well, massive work rate. So I think he'll bring a lot of experience and energy into our pack of forwards.
Cool. All right, guys. But I will obviously let you know if we do sign Vincent Koch. All right. Thanks so much, Kitsy, for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks to you.
And thanks, guys, for joining. And I'll send that link as discussed. All right.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.